Hi everyone, my name's Paul from Planty Patch. Welcome to the channel. So what we're going to be talking today about is whether to chip potatoes or whether not to chip potatoes. There is a lot of conjecture on whether you should. Some people say yes, it's absolutely what you should be doing. Other people say it's a waste of time. And so what we're going to be doing is answering that using data from an academic study. Now, if you want to see all of the data, I have put a link in below to our website, which has all the data on exactly the results that came out of the particular study that we're referring to, which was done in Canada over a 3-year period. So what that study showed was that if you chitted potatoes, the biggest benefit you would see is when you're harvesting the potatoes early in the season. So if you're doing, for example, a first early or a second early potato, what the study found, so they were harvesting around about 82 to 90 days after the potato had gone into the ground, they saw around a 20 to 30% increase in the yield for those particular potatoes. However, what was interesting is if the potatoes were allowed to go to full maturity, there was basically the unchitted potatoes would catch up. And so whether you chitted or didn't chit, if you're taking your potatoes to full maturity, has little difference. Virtually the difference was basically negligible. And what we also noticed is that whether you're having a good year with potatoes or a bad year, because they had 3 years, one of which was quite a poor year relative to the other 2 years, the trends were still there. It was still around that 20 or 30%. So even if you've got poor growing conditions, there's still going to be benefits to doing the chitting. For me personally, I do chit, and the reason that I do chit is that I don't grow first early or second early potatoes. I tend to just throw in a main crop. But I will harvest a few plants to see where it's at relatively early in the season. So one of the benefits of chitting, just for those few plants that I do harvest, is I get more, so I can leave more plants in the ground and still be able to get a bit of a harvest, because I'm probably like most home gardeners, and I just harvest them as I need them until plants completely die, and then I just harvest everything. Now, the second interesting things from these studies also was what were the best methods for chitting, and there were a couple of things that I hadn't known myself, which was what the researchers found was that the ideal temperature to chip potatoes was between 2 and 4 degrees Celsius, which is, I don't know, somewhere around 34 to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, something in that sort of range. And the reason for that was because lower temperatures were shown to encourage the formation of multiple shoots, which would ultimately lead to larger yields. Whereas if you're chitting the potatoes above 10 degrees Celsius, which anyone that is putting potatoes inside would be, they observed that that encouraged the formation of just a single shoot, which was not as beneficial. So what the researchers are actually saying is the best way to chip potatoes is in relatively cold conditions. So that might be placing them into a greenhouse prior to planting. And in addition to that, what they also found was that that they also looked at how long they chitted for. So they did chitting in January, February and March, and then planted everything at the same time. And what they found is that there was a slight trend, but I would say for me the data wasn't sufficiently clear cut to say whether it made a great deal of difference. So in short, it didn't make a great deal of difference. So I'd say for most home gardeners, you'd probably want to put chit your potatoes probably 4 weeks prior to when you're planning to put them in the ground, and to get them in as early as possible, because I'm sure a lot of people know this, but the potatoes are frost sensitive, and they usually take about 2 to 3 weeks to actually pop up above the ground once they're planted. So about the earliest you can plant them is around 2 to 3 weeks prior to the last frost of the season, to be safe that you're not going to have any problems. And pretty much that's what the research is telling us. So I hope you found the video useful. Please subscribe to the channel because we are in the process of building an app which has some unique features which I cannot find anywhere else on any other apps, and we're planning to put that out hopefully sometime this year. And obviously we'll let everyone know through the YouTube channel among other ways. So if you want to try out this app, it's designed specifically for productive gardens. Subscribe to the channel and you'll get the information as soon as it's available. Cheers guys, have a great one.